Scott, thanks for that intro. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Andy's Trading Studio, and with or without Jamie Hodge, we're gonna carry on. Hopefully, he can make it here in maybe the latter half or something like that. But nonetheless, I got some good stuff for you today, and let's just dive right in. All right. But first, we got to take care of this disclaimer here, guys. I'm going to be talking about some setups, especially today. Yeah, I'm really going to be talking about some potential stocks to keep an eye on. Be looking at some charts and talking about price action and things like that. It's great, valuable information, but it's never to be construed as investment advice, okay? If that's what you're looking for, you need to seek out a licensed broker, an RIA, somebody in that capacity. Hello, Mike C. All right, you are not alone with trade ideas. And guys, this is very important, and bear with me, all you guys, regulars in here, but I need to cover this for the people that are in here for the first time and are kicking the tires. We understand it's a very powerful software. We do not take that for granted, and we are here to provide the best education, the best training that we can possibly do that. And it starts out within the traders room. Guys, we have a traders room open every day. Opens up 30 minutes before the bell and usually goes all the way to the close. Barry Anderson is the moderator in there, as well as professional trader, and you can watch him navigate the market using our software and make trades. And on top of that, we have 4 different webinars, all in the 5 Eastern time slot. You can see them there on my screen. You got Jamie and Steve on Mondays. On Tuesdays, you got, it's not up there, but you have Steve and myself. Q&A demo on with our CEO, Dan MIRKIN, and CTO, Brad Williams. And then, of course, today's the trading studio with myself and usually my sidekick, Jamie Hodge. And also, guys, Friday support session. This is tomorrow at 11 Eastern time. Great place to come if you have any more questions. I'll be talking in a little bit about TI University, but I know it doesn't matter. You know, you can take get all the education you want. There's always going to be something that you find that you're going to have a question about. Hey, Friday support session is the place to come. That's scheduled for 3 hours. You guys come in there. As long as you're asking questions, we'll be there to answer them for you in that 3-hour time span. So that's a great hangout for those still learning the product. Brokerage Plus, guys, this is still in beta. Okay, this is a way for you to automate your own strategies and hook it up to our Brokerage Plus product, a little module that hooks up with the interactive brokers, and it allows you to auto trade. This is for advanced traders only. If you want more information about that, just go to trade-ideas.com/beta, and you can find out plenty. We have a video in there for you to watch and everything. So, all right, this is what I was talking about, the TI University, and the people, guys, are loving it. If you're new to the product, or maybe you've been around a month and just feel like you really don't know it like you should, go ahead and register for this TI University. There's different levels. We start out at 101 on Mondays, then graduate to 201, 301, and then finally 401, which is on Thursdays. This is at the 12 Eastern time slot every day. Okay, so guys, sign up for that. You do have to register for it to get an invite, but once again, it's a great place to come. 6 hours worth of education there, guys. All right, here's the agenda for today. We're going to talk about the market recap. Then we're going to go into the Holly recap, and then I'm going to talk about Let's Go Fishing again. Okay, that's my Let's Go Fishing strategy that I built a while back. I've talked about it before on here. It's been a while, and I kind of want to give you guys some ideas of how I use it, and maybe some good strategies that you can apply to really find some good longer-term holds. It's going to be very valuable, more for the swing / investor, but I think day traders can get some good stuff out of it too. Green bar reversal optimize. This is going to be another fun one. We're going to take the bullish candlestick patterns multi-strategy window that I created a while back, and then we're going to pop out the green bar reversal strategy, and we're going to see if we can optimize it. So this should be fun. This will give you an idea of maybe what to look for if you're using that window. And by the way, we'll talk a little bit about that window because it's a lot of good stuff coming in there or through there. All right, so let's back out of this and let me dive into the market recap here. All right, let me put it on the handy dandy spiders and get a swig. Guys, bear with me today. Steve's been out all week and Jamie's been running some personal errands, and I definitely understand that, but I have been talking a lot, so bear with me today. All right, so here's what we got in the market. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the 15-minute chart today first to see what transpired in the early going. And there you have it. I got way too many days up there, but here's a 15-minute chart. We opened up this morning with a little gap down and then commenced to selling off pretty hard. I think it was mostly on the Trump Korea thing. I don't get too much, and I let the price action tell me. I try not to get caught up on any macro news. I mean, it's good to know, but I don't let that try to persuade me in which direction the market may be going. Follow the price action. You can see we went and took out yesterday's low barely, and then the bounce came, and pretty much for the rest of the day we moved higher and then kind of went sideways there for the last couple of hours. So in the long run today, we were down a little bit marginally, but still a nice fight back for the bulls. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, but it still was an impressive day. Let's take a look at the daily, not spiders. Let's take a look at the daily here. Go back. And this is what we're looking at. And interesting, guys, if you look here, and this is setting up well for the bulls. We're having a hard time even closing below this 10-period moving average. We keep trying to close below it on the last couple of days and bouncing back higher and closing above. That's a sign of strength. Now, the problem with this market has been the last couple of weeks. It's not so much been that it's showing signs of weakness. It's just not really showing any signs of strength either, like on this day where we tried to poke our head out and then we sold off and closed near lows. So as far as the spiders are concerned, which is probably the best weighted index out there, it's just sideways action. I mean, let's just draw it up real here, just mark it up with horizontal lines, and you can see exactly what we're looking at. And we are in just a kind of a range here. And there you have it. Which way we'll go, I don't know. I mean, it is impressive, for the bulls to twice we tried to fall below this momentum line, we call it, and we cannot do that. So, and it cannot close below it. So that's an area of strength. Overall, it's still potentially the other side of the mountain action is still kind of scares me. The volume is starting to really, you can see my little volume line here, average volume line starting to slant downward over the last month. So once again, I got to give caution to the wind because this could be setting up for a range bound summer. I hope not. I don't like those. Those are not very fun, but we'll see what happens. Maybe we can get some macro news that can cause something to give here in the spiders. All right, let's take a look at our leader lately, and it is the IWM. And once again, another impressive move, same kind of action there. We tried to go below the 10-period moving average and popped right back up. And I think we're probably going to see the same thing for the Qs. And there you have it. Yeah, the same pretty much price action throughout. Qs very much like the spiders. You can see the range here over the last couple of weeks. So there's not a whole lot to really go off of for now. Maybe something will transpire over the next week or two where we find ourselves either breaking out to the upside or falling down back into this range in this wedge. But not a whole lot to talk about here, guys. I mean, this is where I usually ask Jamie if he has anything else to say, but obviously there's no Jamie today. So I am going to back out of this, take a look at the Dow. I don't do this very often just because, once again, and Well, interesting. It could not get back above its 10-period moving average there. So, but once again, I don't look at this one very much because it comprises of only 30 stocks. So it's kind of outdated, antiquated, whatever you want to say here. All right, well, let's pull up Holly today. And that's another one I'm not going to try to sugarcoat other than to say, look at the price action we have in the market lately, and what do you see kind of coinciding with that is the price action we're seeing in Holly. Okay, I'm not going to kid you. Over the last week, Holly hasn't been doing very good over the last maybe 10 days. I don't have a chart up here, but Jamie pulled one up on Monday showing how well it has performed going up until that time. But lately, like many traders, Holly is having a hard time getting her footing. I see her try to get on the right side a couple of times. I thought she was going to nail it yesterday. She had all these beautiful shorts just working perfectly, and then the market did this. No, that was yesterday. Yeah, it kind of did this. Looked like it was going to roll over and go to lows, and then boom, it just, right back up. So she tried the same thing again this morning, a couple of shorts. One good thing I can say about it, good in a way that this is kind of a warning sign. I talk about the market barometer that Holly can be at times. She only came to the dance this morning with 5 strategies out of 45 in her hopper. She only 5 of them made the cut. Warning sign number 1: there's not a lot of setups out there because of this crazy action we're seeing in the market, a lot of back and forth. And then she only had 11 trades today, I believe. So once again, another, she usually averages maybe 15 to 20. So another warning sign. And guys, this is where, I mean, I day traded avidly for 17 years, and I've even had, bouts with this in my past where I would try to blame it on the market, blame it on the crazy action, blame it on Holly. There's times in the market, and this is why I keep telling you guys we could be in a range-bound market for a while. And if that is the case, I know how difficult trading that can be no matter what time frame you trade on. Just a lot of crazy action. These algos know a lot of times when we're in a range-bound market, and they will just flip back and forth because they know the overall market's not going anywhere. They have the capital to sit there and just jack the price action around. If there's no true buying or selling, they can sit there and play around with the stock, so to speak. It happens, and that's why I want that. The point I'm making here is when you see something like Holly struggling, when you see other traders struggling, when you see the market in this sloppy range, know when to back away, know when to cut back your size, maybe know when to focus on one window. Maybe you say, hey, I like Holly, she's not doing very well lately, I'll come back to her. I'm going to focus on this great alert that I created that's given me quality, symbols coming through, quality trade ideas, where I can trade and focus on one thing. The tougher the market is, the more you really need to focus, hone in your niche and your focus on one thing. Because if you're all over the place looking for ideas, it could be a battle. All right, so Holly, I'm not going to go over, they're on risk, risk off. I mean, gosh, she only had 1 winner today. Luckily, she didn't have a whole lot of trades, a flat, some very small losers, and she had a few stop hits, in the early going. She's going to have days like this. Risk on only finished down about 47 cents. Risk off was more of 156. So, if I did pull up the chart, you would see Holly pulling back a little bit on the chart against the spiders, but you would still see that there's still a huge gap. So Holly's struggling. Maybe that's your cue to, hey, maybe I need to back off too. If this incredible artificial intelligence that has destroyed the market now for going on 2.5 years, if she's having a hard time, okay, more than likely it's going to be hard for everybody. So that stuff you can take. I'm not trying to defend Holly. She doesn't need to be defended. I'll be the first to admit she's had a tough, stretch over the last week or 10 days. But, that doesn't, refute the fact that she's been, incredible over time, and she will continue to be. All right, that's enough of that, guys. A couple of trades in here. Let's just take a look at this VCRA. We'll take a look at a good one where Holly, nice looking on the daily there, trying to break out of this basically 3-month high there. Nice little buy signal going off here at 29.26. Did pull back a little for 14 cents. You hear us talk about possible stocks that you might want to look for a swing trade. And when I saw this today, I think I may have said something to Michael Noss or something. Hey, that's a low volume one. It's and at the time it was doing lower relative volume. But look at this little breakout here on the daily. Okay, this has potential. And when you see stuff like this, you hear us talk about, how do we get ideas for swing trading? This is a great example. All right, you got basically a 2-month high there, breaking out of a pivot line right here. You got a top there, could not go through. Finally, wow, poked through there. Volume started to pick up a little bit. And yeah, this is one, if we look at the chart, who knows? Maybe we're looking up here for the next stop. Potentially good risk reward. We're still kind of, kind of right in the middle of its range, but that's the kind of stuff, that I'll look for. I got to bring up this one just because it's on my mind, and it's just Under Armour, and I think back on this day right here, Thomas asked me, he's always trying to get my opinion so he can give, he's an RIA, and he's asking me my opinion. He asked me, Andy, what is your favorite stock out there? And I told him, I said, I think for risk reward, it's Under Armour. And I told him this, and it was funny, I told him this about 2 days before Holly called it out right here. And the reason I'm bringing it up, guy, is when you see something like this, is a beautiful pattern, kind of a bottoming pattern. There's your kind of upside down head and shoulders, and then it breaks out. And I think I remember talking about this in one of the webinars too. You see my price alert there. It broke out there, and boy, it's setting up for another move. So those are the kind of buys when you see Holly making on the hey, you want to pay attention to. And you can also see 3 other buys back here. So Holly was seeing something, potential bottoming pattern. And I'm going to talk more about these setups when we talk into Let's Go Fishing as well here in a minute. But anyway, that's about it for Holly. Stop. There were some ugly ones too. LB. This one just ran right up there and hit the stop. It was a fading strategy based upon the daily chart pattern, but unfortunately, it had earnings yesterday I guess that would be this morning, and just went and got us on the stop pattern. Not that it did any much better. You can see it tried to pull back, but nothing there to write home about. But I thought I'd go over a bad one too. But I tell you what, this is why we say man and machine, guys. When you see Holly take a trade, okay, when I saw this morning, I kind of winced a little bit, only because I knew it had earnings this morning. I saw it, on my gapper, gapping up in the morning, nice explosive move, and then turned right there. This is when you take over the range and say, whoa, I'm seeing too much here. I'm going to stay away from this one because it's an earnings play. It was doing relative volume of, close to 5 times normal. Maybe I want to back off. And you guys may be asking, well, why did Holly call it too? Well, it's a strategy that's set up. Unfortunately, LB just happened to meet all the requirements. There could have been 10 others that didn't have earnings this morning or didn't have a huge volume. It just happened to meet all the parameters that set up for this downward dog, which, by the way, had incredible winning percentage last night and a profit factor. So a great profit factor. Excuse me again, I got another cup of water here. So that's where you might want to just take over and say, hey, you know, I know this is an alert by Holly, but I have to look at what the market's telling me, what the technicals are telling me, but not only that, what are the fundamentals telling me? And you can look up there and see they had earnings. Maybe that would keep it out of, you know, keep you out of it. All right, guys, that's enough of that. Let's dive in to bullish candlestick patterns. All right, in case you guys don't know, this is a multi-strategy window that I built, probably a couple of months ago, and you can find it in channel 4. If you go to channel 4 and just click on bullish daily candlestick patterns, you will be able to get this window and make it your own. In other words, save it to the cloud and you will have a copy of it. And I have 4 strategies in here: doji, hammer. I very seldom see a hammer. Bottoming tail, and green bar reversal. So I spent a little bit of time today and last night tinkering around with back testing the bottoming tail and the green bar reversal. And I had better luck with the green bar reversal. And we're gonna do this together, so I just don't pull it over and show it to you. So I want to back test this. Well, let's first pop it out. Let's pop this out. Oh, and by the way, guys, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to pop it out first. While you do that, you just put open alert window, and it pulls up in a window that strategy, pops it out of the M window. And I'm going to go to properties, and we're going to turn on text headers here so we can see what we're looking at. All right, so let's just dissect it, I like to say, and see what this is looking for. Okay, well, first of all, if you go into symbol list and you go to add existing list, you are going to find some pre-configured symbol lists that we have in here for you. Okay, if you go to daily and click on the little plus sign, you're going to see some candlestick patterns that you may or may not be familiar with. Some of them are bullish, some of them are bearish. I've had a hard time with the bearish ones. I need to play around with that some more, but a couple of bullish ones really spitting out some great alerts. So anyway, this is where you can find these daily patterns. Now, when you're looking at these daily patterns, keep in mind it's looking at the prior day's data. Okay, so our servers will start after the close and work well into the night doing ping in the market looking for these patterns. Okay, so when you see these the next day, it's not showing you patterns based upon today's price action. It's looking at the yesterday's candle. This will become clear in a minute. So what I've done is I've taken this bullish candlestick symbol list and I've created a strategy. Okay, here's my strategy. I am looking for stocks hitting new high. Now this is today's price action. Okay, this has what I'm working with now is only talking about today's price action, but everything is predicated by the bullish. What is which one I'm working on here? The bullish reversal, green bar reversal. That's what it is. So, so first you have to have that, and now they have to match up these alerts and filters that I have programmed in here. So this is my strategy. I'm looking for a new high. If I go to window specific filters, you'll see I'm looking at a new high. The stock has to be above $5. The change from the SMA has to be high, the 0.01% above the 50 period moving average. So we know it has to be above. Position in previous day's range. Okay, I'm looking for it to take out the high of the prior candle, which is, I know, is already a green bar reversal. This will become more clear once I start showing you some of the charts that stocks that came through there. Relative volume, I'm just looking for doing basically average volume. I don't want things doing it on real low volume. That's why volume in the 5 minute is 100%, which is exactly normal. All right, daily average volume has to average at least 300,000 shares a day. All right, so let's go and take a look at some of these. I'm going to just move this out of this to the side since we already have this. All right, So we're going to go into history. We're going to take a look today and see what came through here. All right, so all these stocks came through here. Oh, and there's even more available. So we got a lot of data coming through here today. It's incredible. Well, we know this one, Williams-Sonoma had earnings this morning. There's a big gap up, and that's off of earnings. And you will also get some ETFs. I'm not blocking the ETFs. I want to see ETFs. I think it was Mike C. the other day that wants to be able to see the spiders, and that's wise by him, because these are patterns that not only apply to stock, they can be very bullish if they are also applied to ETFs or indices like the spiders. NVIDIA, let's take a look at this one. All right, there is your bullish, okay, no, green bar reversal right there yesterday. You had some sell-off action for several days, green bar reversal. There's your action today, you know, pierced it, came pretty, not a whole lot happening there. Let's see, QLD, there's an ETF, AEM, this is a great one. You had this one right here. There's your green bar reversal yesterday. And then what did my parameters set for you today? We hit a new high. We took out that high from yesterday, bam, and now you had a nice move subsequently. That one didn't do much. And honestly, in this price action we're seeing lately, you're going to find a lot that are not doing much. But what we're going to do is we're going to check this and see if we can back test it. All right, let's see. We'll take a look at the Weight Watchers right there. Oh, that one tried. You can see there, it sold off for a few days. There's your green bar reversal, and then we took it out today, but just could not get any ump. That's where the market, you know, really pulls everything down this morning. So it kind of just threw everything off. Another one there, same story. All right, so let's do this. Let's take this and back test it. Oh, that was a pretty nice one right there, trying. So what we're going to do is right click in this, and we're going to back test this, and I'm going to keep it wide open from the start, from when the market opened, run it all the way until the market closed. Timed exit, we're going to keep it for 60 minutes. Okay. Risk management, we are going to risk 1.5% to the downside. And advanced, all we have to do here is make sure open it wide open, have all available columns checked. And there's our summary. And let's simulate buy and hope this goes fast. Come on now, you're just almost there. Get finished. All right. Well, let's see here. Not all that great, but we have a lot of trades, and we have a 46% winners. This is kind of skewed because I have, let's see, not sure what's going on here, but what we're going to do here, we are going to just jump in right quickly and go to optimization and see if we don't see anything with price and time. All right, so what we do, go to optimization tab. All right, there's our price. And why do I have, okay, there, let's chop this down to $5. All right. And let's take the scroll bar here and see if we're seeing anything. Well, I'm seeing right now that the lower price stocks are just horrible. Horrible profit factors, horrible winning percentages. We need to increase that. Gets a little bit better through here, but nothing that jumps out at me. Let's see if we see anything that really jumps out. Okay, this is interesting. Look right here, starting at $155. Really starts to improve. That's just, to see, that's the kind of thing when you're doing your back test and you want to jump out at you and you want to see. It's like, okay, wow, look at this strategy. How can it perform so badly you know, through the first $150, and then all of a sudden, wow, we start getting, look at this green. It's beautiful. It's exactly what you want to see. So I'm going to take this right now. Wow. All right, we're going to do this right here. We're going to set the minimum price to 155. The reason I'm sounding kind of shocked because I did this early this morning, and I can't remember, I couldn't remember how much better it was for the higher price stocks. So we're going to set the minimum. It automatically goes into your window configuration and does it for you. All right, guys? All right, so there's our minimum value. Just got to click OK a couple of times. Okay, pull this over here. And now let's take the max. Let's go to the max. Well, this is not all that great right here, but look what followed it here, some incredible numbers. So I'm just going to write that off as an anomaly because we had some really great numbers all the way through $219. So let's make this the max. Right click, set max value price to $219.99. Goes into the window config, does it for you. Click OK, click OK, and now let's run and compare. Okay, we had 119. Just not a whole lot good going on there. Let's see how we improved. Backtest strategy, we're going to leave everything the same, okay? And just going to run simulate buy again. See what happens. Gives me a chance to drink some coffee anyway.
Drinking that Folgers, Andy?
Hey, Jamie.
Yeah, I got here about 15 after, but I didn't want to interrupt.
Okay.
You were doing
hey,
so
no
good.
problem,
I'm like,
man.
hey,
No problem.
I'm watching the show as well.
Okay, good, man. Yeah, no problem. Glad you can make it. All right, guys, look at that. Just by tweaking that price, and I don't think I've ever tweaked a price to this high of parameters. I mean, we're talking about, you know, a minimum of 155. So you know, and you're thinking, okay, you may be thinking, wow, man, you know, what kind of account size do I have to trade this strategy? Well, take a look here. If you had a 50,000 share account, $50,000 account, you could trade this strategy because your buying power required is 160,000. You're going to get 4-to-1 margin. So even if you only had a $50,000 account, you could trade this strategy. And really, if you only had a 25,000, you just have to cut it in half. So in other words, instead of buying $20,000 worth of stock, you'd be buying 10,000. So, wow, look at that! Just taking this from doing that price. Let's take a look at it again. Okay, we had it wide open, and now we are at $155 to $219. We still have plenty of total trades. I'm not worried about curve fitting. Now, when I see a price range like that, where we still have, you know, basically $70 worth of price range, we're just destroyed the outcome of the total one we had over here. That's impressive to me. That tells me there's not an anomaly, and it makes sense to me. Okay, when you let's face it, some of the best companies. Well, let's just face it, the best companies do not trade $2 and $3, $4, $5. Okay, the better companies, your Apples, your Amazons, your Facebooks, your Netflix. Look where they all trade, guys. That is probably why this strategy works. Okay, these are very good company, and you get many times you get some really nice bullish price action because people are running in not only to day trade them, but more importantly, mutual funds are rushing in to buy them for their clients. Hedge funds are rushing in to buy them for their clients. So a lot of times you can, even though we work a lot with data and numbers, which is what we prefer to do and what we do so well here at Trade Ideas, you can apply some of your good old, brain power to logically, work through a reason why something may perform better than the other one. And this is just a strategy that happens to work a lot better with higher price stocks. And you can see it there. Okay, let's see if there's anything else we can do with this. Okay. Let me cancel that. And so here's what I was thinking. Since I didn't have the volume parameters set up, in other words, remember how I showed you, all I want to do is make sure that it's doing normal volume and not doing really, really low volume. I want to go in and see if there's any change, if it was increased volume. And if so, how much, and is it enough to really affect the profit factor and the winning percentage? That's the most important thing. All right, so let's go into optimization. This is where you can go into other filters. And let me do, since I'm using the 5-minute, remember that filter I was using, volume in the 5-minute had to be 100%. So now I'm going to go to volume in the 5-minute, and let's see, how's that going to read? 5-minute volume? Yeah. Don't get me.
For your, I think it'll be under V, I think.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. No, let's see. We need a search function. 5-minute volume. Well, let's just do this.
You're looking for the 5-minute volume, right?
Right. Shouldn't it be?
Yeah, it's down there. Go back.
Volume 5-minute. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it went there. Let's take a look again. I didn't go down far enough, Jamie. Yep.
There you go.
Thank you. All right. So we're at 500%. Let's put it on 100%. And looky there. We can look at from 100 to 300%. So basically 300% would be 3 times normal. Above that starts to decay. Okay. You may say, why would that happen? Is that just an anomaly, or I don't think so. I think a lot of times when you see these explosive moves with huge volume, it's algos suckering people in, and to just do the old head fake and the long wick to the top and screw them. But for whatever reason, we're seeing a really incredible difference between when it gets above 500, it starts to drop off. You can see look at there, no winners there, and it really starts to drop off. Now we're not sawing much off, but still it helps. And let's just go ahead and do it. Right click, set max to 299.99. Remember, we had nothing there, so now we have a value there. We're going to click OK. OK. And let's put this back on summary and run it again to see how much we improved it. We're running faster now. The more you run it, the faster it goes. Look at there. We've taken this thing up to 2.65 profit factor. Still have plenty of trades, 156 trades, almost 68%. You like that, Mike? Yeah, that's a vast improvement from where we started. Look at that. We didn't even have green numbers anywhere, and just by changing 2 filters, one of them being the price, and then the volume in the 5-minute. And that's when you're optimizing these things. This is, first of all, I always start with price and time, and then I like to start with what filters am I using already, because obviously I use that filter for a reason, okay, because it's going to have an impact. Let's see if we can make it have a greater impact by optimizing it. So I like to start with the ones I'm using first. But anyway, guys, that is how you go about optimizing a strategy. And remember, this is one that you guys have. I will actually share this one with you. Let me just go ahead and close this out. The one that I optimized, so you will have it. And let me just go save and share to cloud here. Copy all, and I will put In the chat, guys, if you look at your GoToWebinar interface, you will find a chat panel. Just look for it in there. I will put green. I'm just going to put green bar optimize. And there you go. For you guys who have a subscription to our software, now you have access to this A window that we just optimized, and yeah, play around with it and see how it works. You know, stay on top of it. That's what I always tell people. You know, this is working great right now. Market conditions change. You know, that's why I always like to test these things about once a week, man, just to make sure, because they can go south on you, you know. And but I'm hoping this one may work for a while. All right. Let me see. Curious, will this be also posted on Channel 4? No, it won't be on Channel 4. Only reason, Jamie, is because Channel 4, it's already going to have. It's harder now that we've actually have a channel. It used to be easy for us to just go into the PDF and load them up, but Brad's really the only one that kind of makes the channel. So probably what we'll do is maybe about once every month or two, we'll get together and see if there's any more we want to take out and add. The problem is we can't make that much bigger. You can see everything's pretty tight in there right now. So, but anyway, we will definitely update it. I just don't know how often. All right, so let's. My other topic today is let's go fishing, and I don't know where that thing ran off to. Where'd it go? I lost it somehow. Well, that's the great thing about it. You can just always go find it. And let's just go and pull another one up. And this is not something that's going to be very long and drawn out. I just want to give you some ideas if you're using this one. And this one is also in the Channel 4, so you can find this in Channel 4. I haven't made any changes to it, so it's the exact same one. All right, guys, I want to explain to you how I use this and how I think you can benefit by taking some of these ideas and applying them more toward your investing or swing trading than for day trading. So once again, I'm looking for, this is a strategy. They're looking for stocks that are beaten up on the daily. So in other words, the position in year range is a max of 35%. So I know this is in the lower portion of its yearly range. Okay, but position in 10-day range is at a minimum of 98%. So now it's showing signs of coming, maybe coming out of that. In other words, reversing a trend. Because I'm using a 10-day instead of a 20-day here, I'm trying to kind of get a head start. So you got to be careful with these. These things can take time, but I also have some fundamentals in here where I'm looking for price earnings ratio below 30. Cash to debt, I have at 0.2. So in other words, they have I'm looking for stocks that have at least maybe about a 20% greater or greater cash to debt ratio. Average daily volume, I'm looking for liquid stocks. If I'm going to be swing trading things, I kind of want them to be kind of liquid. And the reason I wanted to bring this up and talk about it today, guys, is I'm just going to give you an example. Let me pull this down here and stretch out my daily so you guys can see it better. Okay, Nike. Nike was in this stock. What am I? There it goes. I was getting scared there. All right, let's just zoom out here. Okay, right around here. I don't know the exact date, but you're going to have to take my word for it because you're not going to be able to go back in history this far. But trust me, Nike started coming through here, right here on this day right here. Maybe even that day or that day. All right, Nike, well-known company. It's been around forever, and when you see companies like that are trading in their yearly low and they're starting to, you look over here at the fundamentals and you see they got $4 billion of cash on hand, current debt is low, make earnings, nice earnings per share. When you see, and trust me, I'm not one that pay a lot of attention to fundamentals. I always has to have something verified by the technicals. But I know when I see companies like this that have been around forever and I catch them at the bottom of their yearly range and start to do a turnaround, especially one that's been kind of basing, you know, for as long as it did. If I take this horizontal line right here, and you can see it had a nice base, nice pivot level, a little shake out there, and then came back and started getting the alert, getting above its 50-period moving average. Those can be beautiful trades. And I'm not talking about, I mean, look at it now. And I'm not saying you should have bought it here and hold it. I'm terrible at selling them too soon, just like most of us are. But if you're an investor, you know, if you have a separate account, you know, maybe you have an IRA and, you know, and you want to, you know, scalp a little and then put some away, you know, this can be a great strategy. Another one that came through this, Target. And Target came back on this date right here. And if I scroll back longer, let's see. Yep, you're gonna see. Look at the fall from grace it had. Okay, and then right here you can see there's the 10-day, and it started poking up, and I got the alert right there. Now this one took some time, but never really went any lower. I can draw the horizontal line there, and you can see just never really went any lower. And even though it's pulling back now, it's still well above, you know, this area over here. So once again, guys, I want to give you a way to look for opportunity. It's very easy to buy highs, too easy in most cases, and you get head fakes and you can get destroyed a lot of times. And you can always buy strong stocks on pullback. But this is an art that is, it can take some time to develop. And the thing about this one, you're not going to get this to test out very well. Okay, you can try back testing this, tweaking it, optimizing. It's just not going to happen. This is where you look for quality companies. Not everything you see in here is going to be, you know, a great company. But when you see big names like Nike, like, you know, Target, I'm trying to think. There's some good examples. Let's just take a look, peek at today. See if we see anything in here today. Okay, there's a jeweler right there, Signet, I believe. All right, so here's a strategy, and this has been coming through for a couple of days now. All right, so we're talking about $150 stock a couple of years ago, or a year and a half ago, whatever that is. Okay, this is starting. Look at this base. Okay, so when I see a base like that, I have an easy stop. Okay, I'm going to show you one in a minute, Bed Bath & Beyond, that would attract a lot of people, but it doesn't have a long enough base for me. This is kind of like Nike and Target did, where I had a nice base, and I can look at the swing exit. You know, that's a, you know, beautiful exit for me. Or if you wanted to keep it tighter, maybe you just come up to these moving averages and you can put it up here around 38.45. But this has the potential, you know, you got 225 million cash, so you got, geez, what is that? Probably about a 40% cash to, no, maybe not that high. I'm not going to try to calculate it, but you're okay there. EPS, I don't get too caught up on the earnings per share because, you know, they're backward looking values there, so I don't get too caught up in earnings per share, but I do like to see that they're making earnings, not just getting killed. And then of course the earnings ratio, I can't see it on here. I'm not sure if I have it. But anyway, the way I would trade these, I don't dive all in. A lot of times I'll trade these with options. And I will take like a third of percent when I see them. Maybe I'll take a 3% in Signet when I see this on this day right here, breaking through this range. And then, you know, as it moves higher, maybe it takes out this level right here and starts working for that gap. Maybe I'll add to it. Another third. I usually do half and half. I won't do like thirds, but in some cases, if it's really bad, kind of like GE, you know, the other day, you know, kind of, it's just been, you know, horrid, you know, maybe something like that, I would take a third. See, you know, I don't know. Are they getting destroyed by some online? Possibly. You know, is Amazon destroying them? I don't know, but you know, they're still making money. They don't have a lot of debt, and so this is one potential turnaround. AT&T. This is one if you're, once again, gotten destroyed. Now I know there's a lot of advisors out there that are buying this up left hand over fist, and the reason they're doing it is because look at the dividend yield. You're getting a 6% dividend yield in this. They're buying this with intentions to hanging on to it forever because they know TNT is probably not going to go somewhere, and they can sit here and earn 6% on their money and hoping they get price appreciation on top of that. You may not be into that kind of game, but nonetheless, you got a pivot level right here. And you can see there, that's the bottom it blew through. I see the gap down right here on earnings, and that's usually a little too quick for me. In other words, it usually takes more time to work off a very bad earnings report, which is the same probably for, oh, this is an interesting one I looked at today. Yeah, that's not it. Let me find it. Okay, here's Bed Bath & Beyond. This one, once again, it's got about almost a month and a half, but in trying to bottom out here. But to me, I would like a little bit longer base, maybe at least a couple of months, because just remember, a little over a month ago, they just got destroyed on bad earnings. Sometimes it takes a while to wash that out. There was a really good one in here that I wanted to. This is it. LB. They had earnings this morning. Okay. This is the one Holly tried to fake. Anyway, look at this. Look how far this has fallen down. Okay. Now it had earnings. Volume came in here. Now what are we seeing here? You can see it gapped down about 6 months ago below this 50-period moving average. Came up, tested it, can't go through. Now it's not really gotten anywhere near it. But now as we zoom in, okay, it's putting attack on the 50-day moving average, and also look at this beautiful little pivot level right here. So this is one that I would keep an eye on, and if it got above, this 50-period moving average and took out this pivot level, pretty much at the same time, that may be, that could be a buy. So maybe, if it gets up around here. But once again, guys, I'm still buying only half. I do like the fact that they got earnings out of the way, had a really kind of nice move today off earnings, but we'll see what happens. But that's one, potential candidate. It's been around forever, and big fall from grace, that may be a turnaround candidate. The reason I say these guys, and you have to obey your rules with these things, and if you're wrong, just get out, even if you only have 30% position, okay? Set your stop, okay? Know where your stop's going to be. Like I said, you're not going to be day trading these. You're going to be swing trading. So go ahead and put a hard stop in there and forget about it, okay? Because if you're wrong, more than likely it's going to continue its movement south, okay? What's beautiful about these things, if you're right, you can really be right, just like I showed you in Nike and Target. Okay, these are not ones you want to take a chance on and then you get a 5% move. Oh, goody, I'm out. No, that's too much risk for that. This is why you want to play small size. And then if you're right, there's a very good chance that this is a trend reversal and can do what Nike did, and you can really get paid. So even if you get up 10% and you scalp out a half of it, try to hang on to some and just put your stop, raise your stop, but don't get out just because you're up a certain percentage. Because if you're going to put this much risk in buying something like this, and the only reason I say this much risk, it's not so much money, it's a calculated risk, but the reward can be great. So you want to play small size. And if you're right, you want to hang on longer. So I hope that makes sense from you. It's not a game for everybody, but when you see some quality companies, especially when you see the ones like Nike, Target, any of those big names that are going to be around for a long time, it's worth the risk. It's just kind of like Under Armour. It's like when I saw this thing trading down around $12. Even though they had not really making earnings or not. I just knew this thing was, it's not going anywhere. It's a big name out there in the sports world, professional sports, and it got hammered. So when you see those opportunities, it's okay to play them, but just you have to do so with the right conscience as far as knowing your level of risk and obeying your stops, and then of course trying to hang on to those when it does start going in your favor. But anyway, Jamie, I think that just about wraps it up.
Good stuff. Good stuff as always, Andy.
All right, guys. Not going to have time for chart requests. I'm going to bring Scotty in. You know what, Bill? You can find, once again, let me drop this down. You can find Let's Go Fishing in Channel 4. Just go to Channel 4 in your channel bar, and you can find it. All right, you guys hang on. Scott's going to come in, offer you a discount. So, Scott, you want to come back in here and walk them out?
A couple items on the way out. Everyone should download our free ebook. It's got 5 strategies that'll help you out in a rocky market when the buying the dip doesn't work anymore. So go to trade-ideas.com/ebook, put in your email address, and then it'll arrive in your email. Get the download link from there. We're going to have a new podcast out tomorrow, so make sure you're subscribed. It's easy to find. Just go to whatever app you use that you usually listen to podcasts in, search for Trade Ideas Podcast. You'll find it. Click on subscribe, get the latest episode, and then the newest one will come out tomorrow. And you'll be filling your ears with knowledge. Do it. We have a discount that's 15% off your first month or year of Trade Ideas. May days, all caps. You got to use it before the end of the month. Just go to trade-ideas.com/price and use the code for 15% off your first month or year of Trade Ideas. If you're already a subscriber on Standard, you can also use the same code to upgrade to Premium. Just go to the homepage of Trade Ideas, click on Login in the upper right. After you log in, navigate to the Change Your Subscription link on the right-hand nav and use that code. It'll save you 15% off your new installment of Premium. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you all. Follow Jamie on Twitter at QuantBot. Steve Gomez is at Today Trader. Dan Merkin's at Trade Ideas 1. We also have at Trade Ideas. Find us on Facebook and like our page, facebook.com/Trade Ideas Pro. Then you can share everything we post with your friends. That'll make us really happy. Info@TradeIdeas.com is where to send all your questions. Thanks all. We'll have a recording up tonight. You get a reminder tomorrow. Thank you, Andy and Jamie.
All right. Thank you, Scott. See you, Jamie. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
Later.